Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go-to for what you do better than anyone else. Your brilliance is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've secretly been craving to set free, she is in there. And that means you will have to burn some old bridges down. And attracting your people will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to tone it down as a woman with ADHD, it's time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility that is something you've been avoiding, but that you truly want. This podcast is about stepping into your upgrade, watering down anything, never change the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved. At least not anymore. In today's episode, I am doing something really fun. I am bringing in one of my own clients, and we're going to just talk about business. We're going to talk about her business. We're going to talk about her experience with working together, and we are going to get this party started. So from one force of nature to another, turn the volume up to an 11, and welcome to the Feral Women's Club. Welcome back to the ADHD Entrepreneu, the podcast for feral as fuck ADHD women in business who refuse to play by the fucking rules. Double fuck. My name is Carrie. I'm your host. I'm also the chief weirdo of Carrie Out Loud. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found the podcast. If this episode has an impact on you or helps you in any way, can you do me a quick favor? If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leave a 5-star rating and a review with which episode you love the most. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi. If you're in either place, be sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and that way you'll be able to be reminded to come back every Wednesday. This helps other women like you find me and be able to become part of our Feral Women's Club. So tell the people. Since I understand your ADHD both personally and professionally, each episode has my 25 years of business expertise filtered through the lens of having this feral fun house of a brain, also known as ADHD. So if you're late diagnosed or late identified, you've definitely found your people. I don't believe ADHD is a disability, and I know that ADHD women can do whatever the fuck they put their minds to, period. So if that is not your jam, I may not be your jam, and that's okay. I'm totally not offended. But if you share this point of view or this point of view piques your curiosity, stick around. So let's get into it. Today, I have one of my clients. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you all what she does, and we will get rocking and rolling with this coffee talk. Ashley, tell the people. Say hi.
Hello,
Ashley.
hello.
Yes, it is Ashley Crabb.
It's Ashley Crabb.
Yes,
I am.
Oh, stop.
I am here. I am here with the Carrie.
I'm excited to have you.
And how exciting! How exciting! But I am the story-driven event curator for feral female entrepreneurs. I help these feral women turn their stories into brands and community spaces that are truly unforgettable, that build belonging, that build trust, and that build visibility. And I fucking love it.
Anything that you want to kind of, events in person or virtual, any of those type of things.
Anything where you are bringing your people together.
Let's talk about us working together. how did you find me? And what made you reach out to
Yeah.
hire me and to book the clarity call? Tell me a little, because I don't actually know all of that. So everybody's going to learn about it while I do.
These I think about the feral women in my life, the feral business women in my life who are now sacred women in my life who have been integrated and like they're stuck
Yeah.
with me now. That's one of my favorite things to say to people. Sorry, you're stuck with me now. And you are foreseeably stuck with me. But
Yeah.
the some of the most important women in my life I have found on my nemesis of Instagram. I found you on Instagram, and I I was thinking about this. I know I found you through
Wasn't it through
another
Colleen? Wasn't it DSGC?
yeah, it was through Colleen DSGC, and I don't know if she shared something about you, but you popped up somehow in there. And then I started following you, and without like really truly
Right.
understanding Carrie or what you did or what you offered, um but I mostly followed your
Yeah.
stories. And I think that's a really important thing to say out
Yeah.
loud. I followed your stories, not even your
Mm-hmm.
posts. And this was before I even introduced myself to you. And like I was kind of
Ooh.
instantly hooked. I was like, oh, I like her. I like her. I
Yeah.
like what she's sharing. I like this audaciousness of her just being like super fucking her. I could tell that. And I just liked that. And there were like some things you shared that
Mm-hmm.
resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of commented on your story. And I think you did the same. And
Mm-hmm.
then without diverging too far from the story,
Oh.
I started looking at the services you offered. I looked at your website. I went on and I kind of just did
Mm-hmm.
like a deep dive. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
I think I need this in my life. And I really did. I was at a point where I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
I need Carrie. And like that was game
Oh.
over. That was game over. It was game over. And I mean, if you want me to get into it, I can, but like I specifically remember I had gone to a mastermind event, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't great. And it really made me realize that I was like, shit, I'm like ready to do something in
Yeah.
business that is not messing around anymore. And like the universe was just like, here you go. Here's this phenomenal human being who's going to understand you. And like that was
Oh, wow.
literally it. And it was kind of amazing. It was kind of amazing because I don't even think I really realized that I needed
Right.
you or
Right.
needed a coach. I knew I just needed
Thank
something.
you. That's awesome. And also, for anyone listening, this is a reminder that virality means dick and connection means everything, because you do not have to have a massive following. Ashley silently binged my stories, looked at my website, looked at my services before she literally just said it out of her face hole. Before she ever said a word to me to hire me, she had done all of that. So just remember, when you are creating things and you maybe feel like you're not getting the engagement you should, or blah, 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 none of that matters. What matters is speaking directly to your people in a way that's so loud they can't ignore it. And it sounds like for you, Ashley, it was what I describe is like being grayscale as opposed to technicolor. Your people tend to stick out in technicolor and everything else just kind of looks grayscale to you. And it sounds like that's what happened, which is awesome, because let me tell you, I was highly masked for a really long time. And if you would have come to my account a year ago, you would have been like, she's high.
Your story spoke to me. Your
Right.
story, your literal,
Right.
not
Right.
the
That's
not the
really cool.
Instagram story, the story of Carrie spoke to me.
What made you go, okay, yes, I'm in. I'm doing this.
I think I knew before our 30-minute call that it was going to be a yes. Like I really do think that deep down I knew, maybe not. I mean, maybe I could take a step back, and maybe I didn't know that it would be an absolute yes with you. But what I did
Right.
know in that moment, that I was an absolute yes on myself. I was
Right.
absolutely going to bet on myself, and I was going to win. And so I went into that call knowing that and thinking that. And you just,
Yeah.
I think the selling factor was you let me be me. You let me be fully me, and I didn't feel like I had to be
Wow.
anyone but authentically Ashley. And that's really empowering when you speak to someone. I especially think that when you're speaking to someone you're going to hire
Yes.
to help you to learn such intimate parts of you. I feel like I had a level you created, know, like, and trust so well on the internet that when I had the opportunity to speak with you verbally or over Zoom or whatever, that trust was already built. And I think that's what was so empowering, is that really all that call was an opportunity to see you face to face, to hear your voice, to have you focus just on me. And that's what we look for in clarity
Right.
calls or one-on-one time. Like, and you gave me that focus, and you gave me that nurture, and you saw me, and you listened to me. And so by the end of that 30 minutes, I was like, oh, fuck yes. Like, this is it. My one saying I try to practice that I don't do well all the time is if it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no. And I mean, it was
That's
totally a hell yes moment where I was like, this is it. But because I'm me, and this is where you were so
But I'm shitting
gracious,
my
I was still
pants.
like, it's a yes, but
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna poop my pants right now. Like, I'm betting on myself, baby, and I'm betting I'm gonna poop my pants after this, but it's fine. And it was just like, it wasn't necessarily, well, actually, let's not bullshit. It was a fear of the investment.
Right.
It was a fear of me saying I am monetarily worth this amount, because I had just never invested in myself before in business, like, at all. Yeah. So it was like, it was almost like a guiltiness. Like,
Right.
I was, because I'm also a mom and I'm a wife and I have a family. It was like, it was a guiltiness that I was choosing myself in this moment. And then I was like, but I'm choosing myself for all of them. I am choosing me for all of us. And so you let me, you let me think about, not let me, but, I thought about it for kind of the weekend. I had another event that was super empowering. It was a new moon, like all of the things, like, and they just kind of coincided. And I came back and, it was like, all right, thank you. Thank you for knowing the answer was yes, and still giving me the time to come back and say yes. And it was amazing.
Good, because I refuse to pressure anyone into hiring me. Like, I want them to be sure they hire me. Be sure when I want you listening to be sure when you hire me that you are ready to hire me. I don't want you to feel like, I don't know, because if you're wishy-washy on me, and because it isn't the investment piece, like the investment piece, that's just an issue for women. We think we're spending money on ourselves in our business. That's bullshit. But that we shouldn't have to do that. But the reality is, if you opened a brick and mortar, you'd have to pay for clothing. If you was doing a clothing boutique, you'd have to pay for a clothing rack, and you'd have to pay for, somebody to keep your books, and you'd have to pay for a cash register. We don't see that in business. As when we invest in business coaching, that's exactly what we're investing in, right? We're investing in future knowledge that we don't have yet, so that we can go down the road further a little bit more quickly, right? So the investment oftentimes really is never it. Even if somebody says to me, it's the investment, that ain't it. Usually it's they're not sure that I can help them. But that happens so rarely, because when you come in, I have literally had a testimonial from my clarity call. One of my clients was like, just after the clarity call, I knew, but it's because I don't just try to push you through. I ask you questions because I want to know if I can help. If I can't help you, I want to send you to somebody who fucking can. So it doesn't make any sense for me to not ask questions, but I will tell you, in asking the questions and you seeing, oh, she gets it. She's not just a chat GPT fembot. She actually knows her shit and she knows what she's talking about. She's actually going to be able to take me down this road. I think it just gives my clients the security of knowing that, because a lot of times as later diagnosed women, we have invested money or wasted money or flushed money down the toilet, or the ADHD tax or whatever that shit is that comes up where we feel like we've had regrets in our past of decisions and choices we've made that maybe weren't the greatest. And so we let that inform our now and our future. And what I help a lot of my clients realize when they invest in me and with me, which is really them investing in themselves, to be honest, and that happens, they get to spend the first 30 days with me in their pocket, which we'll talk about in a moment. And they really get to see that, one, I get their brain personally and professionally, and two, I actually give a shit. I give a shit about your growth. I give a shit about your business, like almost like it's my own. Like I get into the weeds with you. I am not surface level, but we as ADHDers aren't surface level. So thank you for just sharing that, because I've never asked you that. So it's kind of fun to have it like with me not knowing it and asking it here. So let's back up a little bit before you had kiddos, and we'll get to that in a second. But you had a business previously called The Crab That Can. And we started talking about this before recording. I'm like, don't keep talking. We're going to hit record. So what was it that you did for that business? And what made it stop? And then what made you decide to pivot and just go all in on yourself? I know you mentioned there was a moment at some sort of a mastermind or something, but can you kind of just walk me through the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years overall? Just because you are into storytelling, tell the people your story. Yeah.
I am into storytelling, and it has been 5 years. 5 years, it'll be 6 years next year. But so yes, I am still, I'm always going to be the crab that can. But I started the Crab That Can when I lived out in Washington State. So I was a West Coast girly, and oh man, life on the West Coast from Pennsylvania was such a ride. But
right,
I was laid off in 2020 when the world shut down, and I was a 20-something-year-old college-educated woman, and I was like, I'm just going to sit here at home, be real sad and depressed, and apply for unemployment and jobs, and something's going to hit. And it's like, holy shit, no, that's not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen. And so that was probably one of the most pivotal moments in my life, because that's when I was like, fuck this. Like, I didn't grow up wanting to be a business owner, wanting to be an entrepreneur. Like, that wasn't something that I was exposed to. And so when I couldn't find a job, I was done being very depressed and sad. I was like, I'm going to be the crab that can. And thank God for my husband and that last name, because Plaisance just doesn't roll off the tongue the same way. But I remember I was actually dog sitting for friends of ours because people were like, you don't have a job. Let me help you. And so they did. And I was dog sitting, and I just called my husband at work, and I was like, I'm going to start a business. And he was like, all right, you can do anything. And I was like, yes, I can. And the business is going to be the Crab That Can. And so people like have asked me, what were you? What did you do? And I was basically the town's handy woman. Like, that was what I did. I mean, I marketed myself as the woman you could call to help you with anything in your home. And the Jill of all trades. People literally called me the Jill of all trades, the hired handy woman, the hired husband. I got
So
booked
cool.
out the first week that I started marketing because people needed help. I mean, I helped women organize and purge and donate. I did things like one of my first projects, I painted a condo with 20-foot ceilings on scaffolding. Like, I think I shouldn't tell this story, and my husband would be like, why did you do that live? But I had a woman ask me to groom her dog's butt one time because it needed done, and like I was already mid bath with the dog, and me and the dog had a moment, and we were like, all right, we're doing
But
this.
the
like,
dog needed
not
his
that I'm
glands
proud of that, or that is what I wanted to continue to do, but the dog needed help, man.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people knew I would be like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. But I did what people needed done. And like you said earlier, if I couldn't do it, I led them to the person that can. And so that was also the point in time where I really think I became a community connector, because it was literally helping my community, but it was also connecting my community to people that they needed. And so it was absolutely fulfilling. Then I got pregnant, darn. And so no, I shouldn't say it like that either, because but wait, it wasn't just it wasn't just a pregnancy. It was God said, hey, you're gonna have twins, and baby A and baby B.
Yeah.
And that completely changed our lives, because for a very long time, I did not want to be a mother, and I married my husband with him and I both deciding we did not want to be parents. And we were okay with that. We were truly okay with that until Ashley wasn't okay with that. Until I was like, nah, I love myself. I'm worthy. Like, I want to bring another human being into this crazy world. And the universe was like, oh, hold my beer, because we're gonna give her two. She wants this. We're gonna go full send and give her two human beings at once. And and that's what happened. Effectively, I lost my mind. Like, I truly did. I mean, I was so happy to know we were going to become parents.
Right.
I was so terrified to know we were going to become parents of two. But it was such a shock that I did what I usually do, and that's be impulsive. And I was like, we're moving, husband. And we did. We packed up. I moved out to Washington the week after I graduated college, 3 suitcases, and I never moved home. And when I said, we're pregnant, we're moving back to Pennsylvania, he said, okay. And we sold nearly everything we owned in 3 months and moved back across the state, including our home. And I don't regret that decision, and I don't regret moving our family back here, but I do reflect upon that, and I think, holy shit, you really threw yourselves for a whirlwind very quickly. And so with all of that change, I did take a break from the Crab That Can.
Right.
I was like, we're going to focus on moving. We're going to focus on motherhood. We are going to step back from the business. And I took a break. I took a nice, probably 1.5 year break from just really doing anything.
Take me back to, you said that you had an event or a mastermind or something that just kind of felt lackluster. Can you kind of go back to that and just tell me what happened there, and what about that moment was like, what, fuck this. I know I have a skill set. I know there has to be a way for me to take my fucking feral ADHDness, which I don't even think you knew. We could definitely come back to that. But what was that thing? Yeah, tell me about that.
So, after the 1.5 year break that I took, I did start getting back into business. I did a pivot, and because motherhood was my main focus, I did a lot of virtual work. I really leaned into my marketing, my branding, my event planning skills that I knew I could do virtually, and I started to get back into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going to networking events and things like that for about another 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So last year, I pivoted. I started the business back up. I started taking on some clients and marketing, branding, newsletters. Yeah, VA, online business management. I helped a lot of people with their online memberships. And I did like that. I mean, those were my people. Those were things that I was good at. Community, but this past August, I went to a mastermind event. I never know how much to share about this because there's some things I also don't want to share, but we were sitting in that mastermind room and I was in a small circle with a group of professionals, and I had one of them look at me, and he was like, Ashley, I know you pretty well. And that's kind of like the first red flag that went off in my mind, because I'm like, dude, you don't know me. You've talked to me like, you've talked to me like two handfuls of times. You don't know shit. But I was like, okay. And he was like, I really just think that like you have no focus. Like you are unable to commit to anything in your business, and that's your problem. And then he really took it one step further, and he goes, and what do you think you are showing your boys? And like, I'm not sure how I didn't just fucking self-implode at that moment. I
think about what I was just saying, but here, let me bitch slap you twice in front of you, right to your face. Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was at that mastermind event on behalf of the 9-to-5 job. So my feralness had to be reined in pretty hard. But that was also the moment I checked out of that event. Like I was just done. I was done. And I also knew that any sort of reaction that I provided, no reaction would have sufficed the situation. So there was just no playing into that, right? But I was pissed. I was pissed, and I was also like, now I'm going to show you. Because the individual who made that statement also made a statement to me 6 months before, questioning my ability to do what I was doing, questioning who I was to be offering what I was offering. Fueled the fire. But you know what? As much as I don't want to give it to him, like I needed that. Like I needed that. Like, even though that wasn't right. And it wasn't like a bitch slap moment where it was like, oh my God, he's right. Oh my God, I'm not committed. No, I've shown up for myself, my business, my family every single day of my life. So like, I also think that's why there was no reaction, because even as gut punching or, disrespectful as that comment might have been, there was absolutely zero validity to it. And so there was no validity to it, but it also gave me that fire that I needed. And shortly after that is when I found you. So, and then shortly after that, I was at a networking event with all women. And it was the networking event a year before I had gone to that really kind of ignited that fire a little bit again and had me offering services and getting back into it. And so really, those three massive occurrences, this shitty mastermind event experience, this clarity call with Carrie, and then this actually super amazing networking event with females in my community.
Mm-hmm.
And it all happened in about 2 weeks.
Like,
but
I think that event happened just you hired me the day before you went to the event, or the day after? It was like within one day.
It was like that same weekend.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
so, I mean, all of that happened so quickly.
So crazy.
But that is exactly what I needed.
Right.
And that was what I would say. It was the moment that I fully and finally pivoted from the Crab That Can to it's Ashley Crabb.
Right.
Because I also realized in those moments, you know, I can do everything. I am capable of doing everything. I can help people in this virtual way.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not speaking to my higher calling.
Right. And you had some idea of what your higher calling was. So talk about our first 30 days together when
God.
Basically when anybody
No, I want to talk about the deep dive call first because that shit is life transforming.
We are going to talk about that. What I do with my clients who come into the sisterhood or work with me one-on-one, or I just offer it like as a one-off session, is the 90-minute business slingshot deep dive. And you fill out a detailed form all about your business. And just so y'all know, I've gone through that with my own mentor. So I understand the depth that you are diving in when you're filling out that information. But I promise you, there's a method to my madness, which Ashley will talk about here in just a second. But I do that, and I do pre-work. I kind of take a look over everything that you've given me as far as like website funnels, like everything that you have in your business so far. And we kind of find the energy leaks, find out how to really simplify it so that it flows and it works with your brain, and you can do the thing you love most, which is work with people as opposed to stay stuck behind the scenes, admin hell. Like there are 6 and 7 figure business owners who literally have a house of cards behind the house in their business, behind the scenes. They have somehow gotten super successful, but they are accidental entrepreneurs or have jumped out of the airplane and put together the parachute on the way out, Ashley, right? Like that kind of thing. So that deep dive comes with the first 30 days together inside of Voxer. And that's how it is now as of September 23rd, 2025. Our businesses always evolve, but this is literally my secret sauce for my clients. So instead of me telling you that, I'm going to let Ashley tell you what her experience was, because I don't even know. So this will be really fun for me to hear. So tell me, girl.
I mean, that 90-minute call was it's almost non-describable. I mean,
and I'm not paying her to be here, y'all. Like
she's not. No, not at all.
Just so you guys know, she paid me and she came on my podcast. So yeah, so anyway,
I'll get on a podcast.
Sure.
But I mean, it was absolutely, it was just monumental. It was monumental. I mean, I went into that call really scared, like really terrified. I was like, with all of those self-doubts, with like, I don't know what I'm doing. Right. She's going to look at this and tell me my business is shit. She's going to tell me that I need to change everything. Like, and that wasn't a reflection on you by any means. Sure. That was my own brain playing all of these dumb tricks on myself. It was, so I was super nervous, but I also knew that I filled out that deep dive questionnaire with all of my truths.
Yes.
I showed up. I shared my story. I laid it all out on the line.
You sure did.
And I was good with that. And I wanted more than anything else to have you see me.
Yeah.
That was what it was. I wanted you to see me. And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost so hard for me to put into words, because when you dump so much of yourself out there like that, and you tell your fears, you tell your struggles, you say this is, but you also turn around and say, these are my strengths. This is what I'm good at. This is what I know. These are my dreams and my desires, and this is what I'm shooting for. Right. You're vulnerable in that moment.
Yeah.
You're very vulnerable.
For sure.
And like I said, you had built that trust already. So it wasn't being scared of you. It was just being almost more apprehensive. Like I just wanted to see what the fuck you saw. Like I was just so apprehensive to see what you saw. And then, I mean, we started going through this, and clearly I'm a chatty Cathy over here. Like it's hard to shut me up. And I remember we were going through this together, and I was just like,
wide-eyed and slack-jawed,
I was like
baby.
silent.
Yeah.
I was silent.
Like, what?
And I was just like, I think like I had an outer body experience. Like I was mind blown. And I remember you asking me, and I was like, I don't know what I feel.
Yeah.
And then it hit me, and I was like, I for one of the first times in business, I felt calm.
Yes.
And I felt calm because I had clarity.
Yes.
Like you were able to take the hamster wheel that was going on in my brain of being a solo entrepreneur, of, you know, just having me.
Yeah.
You were able to take that hamster wheel that was just whisking everything up, and you could pull it out.
Yes.
And you were literally able to see all of the things that I was seeing and that I wanted to do, but that I couldn't figure out how to get out of my brain.
Yeah. And how they all married together, because we tend to be multifaceted.
And how they all married together.
We tend to be multifaceted. We tend to have, like, one of the biggest things I tell my clients is just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like literally, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Are there a shit ton of things that I can do with and for my clients? And sometimes I do little things because they're fun for me. And I'm like, yeah, because I can do like help Ashley a little bit with her branding. When she said disco cowgirl, like what was it? Something disco cowgirl. I was like, I'm in. Show me
wealthy disco
the Canva.
cowgirl.
Yes, wealthy disco cowgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me the Canva board. Let's go. So like helping a little bit with that. And then she was able to take that to the person who does her website and have them flesh it out with the colors and fonts I gave her. But you know, they'll be able to button it up because I'm not technically a designer, but give me Canva in a couple hours and I am loving life, including Pinterest, right? But the thing is, the thing that is the magic that I now see out of this 90-minute session is you all walk in feeling like a shit show tornado. How does this all fit together? Like, I don't even know.
I told you I was a fat hamster on a broken hamster wheel.
Right.
I was a really fat hamster on a broken hamster wheel.
And I'm able to, I jokingly call it like, what is it? Robert Downey Jr. when he has all that stuff in the air and he's just kind of moving it all around. I can see the holes or the gaps. I can see what's missing. I can see where your positioning lies and how to like help make people one of one. Because what Ashley does, literally, there are people who help with storytelling, who help with branding, but what she's doing specifically is marrying her two best assets, which are marketing and like driving community together. So community comes in the form of memberships. It comes in the form of events. And as I know the marketplace on Instagram and just in online business in general, I was able to go, man, there's a fucking need for this. Like, I think women will absolutely pay you to help them really boil down their story, to make their brand impactful and to have them be seen, because nobody else can tell your story at all. Like you do, what you have to say, all of the elements and pieces. And so when I saw that, like her gift is storytelling, but also like marketing, I was able to see, I'm like, this kind of marries together into something I'm not really seeing in the marketplace. But if I know that she will help people fill retreats, and I know that she can help them fill memberships, and 15 years of experience in creating experiences. And like you said, even you've told me all the way back to high school, you loved putting together events and you were that go-to person.
Yeah.
It made total sense. I'm like, how do we bring this into the business world? I'm like, oh, I know. So tell me what happened once.
Do you know how empowered I feel getting to say that now? My husband and I were talking about this the other night on our walk, and it's so fun now. I've been talking about business more with my husband.
That's good.
And he's always supported me.
That's great.
I'm telling him I have something to fucking tell him. And you said it, you just said it. Like, I think the issue was too, so many people I talked to before, they tried, you know, you saw those holes and those gaps and you didn't try to fill them. you knew I already had it.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody else has ever done that before for me.
Yeah.
And so when you were able to do that,
Yeah.
then I started to see it.
Yeah.
And now I fully see it. Like it felt so cool last night on my walk, on our family walk. We go on a walk every night as a family. And I was telling him about the things we were working on and like my goals and the next steps and all of the things, which I didn't do before because I didn't know.
Right.
And now I know.
Right.
And it feels so, but I was so excited to tell him. And so it felt so good on our walk to be able to look at him and be like, I am the only person doing this.
Yeah.
That felt so amazing. And to be able to look at him and be like, and I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I've always have known what I've been doing.
Right.
I just needed a little.
Yes. Well, do you remember what happened when you said to me when we were in the DMs talking about when you were wanting to hire me, but you hadn't hired me, and you said something about, it's not that I need to, I want to, or whatever. And I came back to you and I said, you don't need to hire me. You already have everything you need in yourself right now to do whatever you want to do. Anything you want to do. The thing I give my clients is to help them kind of, well, first of all, simplify it, fucking everything. Just simplify it. Our brains don't want, we try to overcomplicate things, but we want it simple. So really to have that simplification, but also to make sure that you get that you already have everything inside of you. I can just literally help you get there faster. I know things you don't know yet that I can show you or share with you. I get elbows deep in that first 30 days. So with the first 30 days, what do you think you got out of that the most? Because we literally, just so you guys know, this is all in real time. Yesterday was Ashley's last day in the boxer with me. We cried, we laughed, we cried. It was better than cats. But it was yesterday. And so what did those 30 days of having me in your pocket just to kind of have accountability and guardrails? Because those are like two of the major things I do.
Those were the two things I needed the most. Yeah. And those were the two things I needed the most was accountability and guardrails. Right. Because I needed a little bit of motivation. Yeah. Because I had the dedication.
Oh yeah.
Like there has not been a single day that I have not shown up.
Right.
So the dedication has always been there. Right. Where I think I lost a lot of my motivation was in not having accountability.
Right.
And not having someone who believed in me like you believe in me, but who could also bonk me on the head with frying pan of love and say, guardrails. Yeah. Guardrails.
Shiny
Ashley.
things. Shiny things.
Guardrails.
Nope.
Shiny things. Not now.
Not now.
And
later.
I really needed that.
That's great.
Because I was a pinball in a pinball machine.
Yeah.
Like, and when you do that, you get burnout.
Oh yes.
You lose your motivation.
Yes.
You don't have the drive to put in the work that it takes.
Well, we don't mind hard work. We mind hard work that doesn't take it. We mind hard work that doesn't get us anywhere.
We don't like hard work that leads to nothing. Right. And that's what I felt like I was doing.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. I was working my ass off. I was working super hard and I wasn't getting anywhere. Yes. And I wanted to freaking get somewhere.
And now after 30 days, how do you feel?
And now after 30 days, I am somewhere. Like, and I just I'm really tired this week. I'm real tired. Sure. And the whole house has a cold. And I'm like, you can't stop. You got to keep going. Don't stop.
But what I tell you is one microscopic thing that still keeps you headed towards that. Time. It does not have to be 8,000 things today when you're feeling like shit. It can be one next step towards it. Towards what, the next parts that you're really building.
You also helped me reframe what those steps are, like this is a step, like I think sometimes too, we get so immersed in our business and so focused on a to-do list and what we have to do that like having coffee with your friend
Yeah.
on online is doing something for
Yeah.
you and for your business.
Yes.
Like, and I think that was really important too. You helped me with a lot of mind shift nudges that I needed.
Yes.
You really, really helped me with a lot of those. And
well, let's bring in the
that has
ADHD
been
portion of the program.
Yeah, I was like, that's probably
This is a great
that's probably a great place
segue,
to
how it's spelled. Segue.
dive right into
so
that.
let's just touch on that a little bit, and you can kind of
Yeah,
share a little bit of that.
well, I
with
mean,
me,
you
so.
are the ADHD entrepreneur. I mean, you are the woman. The woman, right? And what's funny is that I am not diagnosed with ADHD.
Right.
I am not diagnosed with ADHD, and honestly, ADHD for me was never something that was on my radar until I met you. and until
bum, bum, bum.
but what was on my radar before that was high anxiety, high depression, some postpartum depression after the boys, and a shit ton of just change after having 2 children, right? And I don't even know how it kind of pinged itself into a conversation, really, because you didn't even necessarily speak to me innately because you work with women with ADHD.
Right.
I think I just knew you were this side of crazy that we would vibe together. And I say that with love because we're the most awesome kind of crazy. But like, I wish I could pinpoint that moment where we started kind of talking more about that, and you were like, girl.
Well, you would ask me a question and I'd be like, yep, that's associated with ADHD. Oh yeah, that's associated. Just all the little things that you do in a day or that occur,
my little
your
nuances.
little isms or whatever. And you're like, is this kind of related to ADHD? And yes. And so didn't that take you? So now, because I work with women who have late diagnosed ADHD or they're self-identified. I don't really care if you have a diagnosis. If you know, you know. Like, I really feel like once it comes on your radar and you start doing the deep dive, because that's just what we do. When you start doing that deep dive and you start going, I check every box. And then you start figuring out that women are underserved when it comes to ADHD. The average age for boys diagnosis is 7. The average age for women is 37. So like there's a huge discrepancy. And I just don't want anybody feeling like left out of the conversation just because they don't have official diagnosis. Because I know in some countries there's like a several years wait. It's like, I really feel like if you put somebody in a room with a bunch of other ADHD women and everybody vibes for the most part, like that should be the diagnostic rate. I'm not a doctor. I do not play one on TV. But I think that that would be highly likely. Or if you're looking around you and all your friends are starting to get an ADHD diagnosis, or if your own child or children start getting diagnosed, or you're postpartum and you just have kids and every coping mechanism you've ever had to get through life just feels like every Band-Aid was ripped off of you and you feel raw, that definitely can be postpartum depression, but it can also be ADHD as the underlying pin, right? So that's why talking to other women who have this experience is important. Like at different points down the road. I'm about 2.5 plus years out of my diagnosis. I did the podcast episode last week was a replay of the week after my diagnosis. It was like a shock to the system, but I'm so glad that I advocated for myself and that I speak about this just with my clients on the back end. We talk about ADHD and the late diagnosis or the late realization and how that we function different in the world just as late diagnosed women if you just put us in that category. So it's like just so much of the negative self-talk and the bullshit that we put ourselves through because of all the negative messages we've heard for a lifetime by not being around people who understand the way our magical unicorn brains work. And when you are around those people, you get the feeling like you had, Ashley, of acceptance. I see you. I get it. I've been there. I understand. Like, it's because I do, like literally from my own lived experience. Yeah. So, but that, to me, that's one of the best gifts is letting women understand that that's something they might contend with And we know that doesn't stop us from doing jack diddly shit. Like
Well,
nothing.
no, and really you kind of just piqued my brain with this thought now. I think that is the biggest and one of, I mean, there's lots of things that we are told we can't, but no one says, oh, you have anxiety, you can't do this. No one says you have depression, you can't do this. But suddenly, you know, we're talking about being on the spectrum that we're all on anyways. And people get insane about it. Really. That's what happens. And it just becomes, it's just mind blowing. Sorry. You just kind of unlocked something in my brain with that statement, but it was those talks that really were eye opening to me.
Yeah. And that
were really, really eye opening.
That is such a key factor in so many women finally getting it, understanding that some of the traits they have are actual ADHD traits. It's a neurological condition. We are oftentimes diagnosed with OCD, bipolar, depression, or anxiety. Those are the top four. That anxiety and depression are the most common. They normally come together. We're giving as antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. And we're like, well, it's kind of helping. But I will tell you, the day I got my medication for ADHD and I took my first dose, that was about 30 minutes went by and I was sitting right here where you're looking at me right now at this desk. And I remember thinking, it's so quiet up there. And I was all, oh, and then I got mad. I'm all, fuck all of you who wake up this way. Like, you can just kiss my butt. Like, you can screw you and the horse you rode in on. That is not fair. But it also made me realize that my life was going to get even exponentially better because now I understood I've always said this way. There was this black box in me that I could not fucking open and I did not know what was in it. And I had so much self-hatred because I could not understand certain elements of myself. And then I got my diagnosis and that box just kind of opened. I was like, oh, that's what's in there? Cool. Also, I'm really fucking resilient. I've owned 6-figure businesses that I burned to the ground because of undiagnosed ADHD. And I want to teach women with ADHD that they can do this differently. It gets to be more simple.
Right.
And so when I have a client like you who finds me, who I love hearing your process because I've never really sat with a client and asked them in this much depth what that process was like for you on the other side. And I think it's great for other women in business who are listening just in general to hear that it is silent binging and watching and going, is this my person? And reading and looking at those things are happening whether you realize them or not. I had no idea who Ashley was until she came into my until we started having the conversations. And then one day she was just like, fuck it, I'm booking a call. I was like, oh, all righty then. Would you like the link? And she's like, yes, please. And that was it. But I love that the ADHD was able to come onto your radar and you were able to see yourself, because so many women come to me, I shit you not, looking in a funhouse mirror. I'm like, I don't know what mirror you're looking in, because when I have that intake,
but it's totally different.
Yeah, but that intake form, I mean, some of the things women say about themselves in that intake form blows my motherfucking mind. Because when I see you, I don't see any of that, because it's all living up here. And I can see all of the ways that it all fits together, because pattern recognition and just like, my ADHD, my skill set that I have in my secret sauce, zone of genius, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I didn't really realize it until as I was getting in deeper with women with ADHD, and I was actually going deeper into their businesses. And I was like, oh man, like they're really having some great results. Their businesses are slingshotting forward like holy crap. And that's when I kind of put that little offer together. And that really sprung my own business wide open between the ADHD focus alone and knowing what I could do to help you guys simplify. So what was your biggest win, takeaway, result, etc., from our 30 days together? What do you think was the podcast? Because we haven't even mentioned that yet.
Oh my God. I mean, so like, I think like physically speaking, I mean, I have done, and I am beyond, I don't even care if this is gloating, because I am beyond proud of myself. I am beyond proud of you. I am beyond proud of us.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not you, but like, you dealt with this. So like, it's you too. But I mean, I am so insanely proud of myself.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, the only other thing that maybe has made me this proud, I'm not going to start the comparison game. But anyways, I'm super freaking proud of myself because I have done so much in the last 30 days more. So when you say like, I could have done this without you, like I would have gotten to these points without you, maybe in like 10 freaking years when my kids can wipe their own asses, but like that, it wasn't going to happen in 30 days without you.
Wow,
like,
thank you.
It was not going to happen in 30 days without you because I have recorded 3 episodes of a podcast and launched it and have successfully set up 2 months worth of interviews with other feral as fuck female business owners. Mm-hmm. I have created a freebie with tutorials, video tutorials, which I never, ever would have thought to do before.
Yeah, because, a PDF is fine. Fuck PDFs. No, I want to see your face. I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
With the PDF. I want to see you. I want to get to know you. Yeah.
Both of the things. And I'm on my way to creating my first signature digital product offer. Like that.
In 30 days, right?
In 30
with
days.
Twins.
In 30 days. And with twins with undiagnosed ADHD, and I still have a 9-to-5 job. I mean, super proud of everything I've accomplished over the last 30 days. Yeah. And I could have done that without you, maybe. Right. Probably, of course. Possibly, but I wouldn't have wanted to. And so physically speaking, I mean, those are all things we've accomplished. I mean, I'm back on track with my website, with my branding, with, social media content. So those are all physical things that we accomplished in 30 days. Right. And I do think that speaks to my readiness. Yes. To be at that position in business.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And but
Ashley
I think what's
fucking Lutely.
Ashley fucking Lutely. Ooh, yes. We're coining that.
Definitely coin that. Yes.
I think more than that was all the non-measurables that I get to take away from it. I mean, I think if I wouldn't have met you and started working with you, I probably wouldn't have taken this journey down my mental health road. I mean, I'm back in therapy. I'm working on personal therapy. Like, I wouldn't have started to shift my mindset on making money and being a successful business owner. I think that it would have taken me a lot longer, if ever, to come to some of the realizations that I have come to in my personal life. Yes. And because we are entrepreneurs and we know that we don't separate our lives. Right. It's you were my business coach, but because our lives are so intertwined, you made such an impact on my personal life as well. And as happy as I am to awesome. Have everything in business lined up, and that is essentially what I hired you for, and you delivered. I remember I told you this at one point earlier too. I was like, Carrie, like, you delivered on everything you told me you were going to deliver on. You didn't.
So cool to get that. By the way, I love that.
Yeah. And I don't know if anyone else has ever done that before. Like, you truly delivered on everything that you said you were going to deliver on. And that's just mind blowing.
Thank you.
So, I mean, my
integrity is a big deal to me. Like, if I say,
but you also made an impact on me and my personal life. And I think that is more meaningful to me than the business side of it. The business side is just like a nice, pretty money bag with a bow on it. You are the gold inside. So, I just feel honored to have made a friend and a business friend. No,
and
that's what means a lot to me.
Well, you bet on you.
I bet on
I am
me,
all
baby.
in on women who bet on themselves
I
because
fucking bet on me.
yeah, well, that's the one thing I'll give myself. I've always kept betting on me, even in my lowest fucking moments. I
Yeah.
always come back to betting on myself. And I think that
Huh.
a lot of the women who hire me do that same thing because we know we are resilient. And I remind my clients often that we have survived 100% of our hardest days of our life.
Yep.
100%. It's a
Yeah.
pretty fucking spectacular track record. So don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can. And if you want to do the things you want to do, I can guide you to do that. And I will not tell you I can do something if I can't. I will find the person who can because I am a person who loves community and I have a big circle. I have a big circle of a super connector is what I love to use. That's definitely a super connector because I will connect you with people who will help you in certain areas if I know that I can't. And so, Ashley, thank you for doing this episode with me. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to have you on because of course I want to pimp out your business because it's fucking spectacular. I'm going to put all of her information in the show notes. Ashley, you're going to get me all the deets that you want to share with everybody.
Yes.
On her Instagram, it's Ashley Crabb with 2 B's, ASHLEY. She's getting her website revamped and branded and all of that jazz, but her offers are spectacular. If you're looking to fill memberships, if you're looking to fill retreats, if you're looking to lean more into your story as your brand and weave that into everything so that you do have more visibility, you're definitely going to want to talk to Ashley because this woman really knows her shit. And anybody who has her in their pocket or has her in their pocket is going to have a spectacular experience. So I'm so excited for everything that's coming for you. Her podcast, which it's so fun. It's called Herstory instead of history. It's her instead of his. So it's her story basically, but it's her making her story. So you're definitely going to want to find her there. I'll have her give me all of that information. And is there anything else you want to tell the people that you want to leave them with about you, about your business?
Oh, no, I didn't have a closing speech.
That's okay.
No, I did not. Okay. I did not have a closing speech, but I mean, thank you. Thank you for telling the world your story and for giving us your gifts because you could have kept those to yourself.
Yeah.
And so and on behalf of all of the women I know you make a massive fucking impact on. Thank you. Thank you for giving it to us.
Thank you, Ashley Crabb. Thank you so much. You're the best. And with that, I'm going to end today's episode. If you'd like to get in my ecosystem, keep up with the latest and greatest, you can hop onto my newsletter that's specifically for ADHD women entrepreneurs. The link is in my show notes. If you're ready to talk about your own business growth, that business slingshot, the 90-minute session, and see what it looks like to work together, you can book a free clarity call with me by shooting me a DM on Instagram at Carry Out Loud or book it through the link in my show notes. It's 30 minutes and it's not a coaching call. It's just to have me, like I did with Ashley, ask you questions, make sure that I can help you, see if we're a match to work together, and we go from there. So until next week, I see you. I love you. I'm fucking rooting for you always. Kick ass, take names, stay feral. And Ashley, let's say bye together. You ready?
Bye.
Bye.
No, bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening today. Bye, Ashley Crabb.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.